got the old Clint Eastwood expression on again. That means he's going to sleep, innit? He's the Jimba Timber. Also, hello. Today, I'd like to take a look at this book, which is one of my all-time favourite actors, Sean Penn. He's just an amazing actor. Just very, very well. I suppose he's what you would call a method actor. Method meaning. Well, it started, I think, in the school of Stanislavski, and you kind of absorb yourself into the part by using your own past experiences to recreate a role, you know, that is sort of that is as realistic as possible. That looks like a message from my old ex-wife. She wants a jacket potato. I don't know why that's in there. As usual, it's a withdrawn library book. You know, I'm such a cheapskate. It's unbelievable. But there's the bits and bobs that you need if you want to get yourselves a copy. But it's quite an old book, so it won't be expensive to buy. Yeah, Sean Penn, just the best actor that's ever walked the face of the earth, in my opinion. I mean, he first came to prominence for me when he married the wonderful Madonna, you know, the singer. There are some black and whites in this book, which make it trot along very well, to be honest with you. That's obviously his dad, I think. Yeah, I reckon that must be his dad. He had a brother called Chris Penn as well, who's dead now, unfortunately. He was a good actor too, Chris Penn. So that's obviously his dad, in the 458th Bomb Group in the USAAF. What a job, you know. Good golly, Miss Molly, daylight runs and stuff. Oh no. Not the best time to go out in a plane with full of bombs when it's broad daylight, but and that's, well, Eileen Ryan Penn, so that's obviously his mum. Wow, pretty lady, wow. But Sean is an amazing actor. He's done so many amazing roles. I Am Sam is one of the most moving things I've ever seen in my life. There's the young Sean, aged 4, where he plays a sort of like an autistic child, an autistic sort of person who's trying desperately to hold on to his daughter. It's a most incredible. You have to check it out. I'll leave a link to Sean in the description box below. And well, there he is there, look, that's him there, and you'll be able to pick up his filmography from that. Another moving role he did, that, I mean, there's so many of them, where do you begin, really? But another massive moving role for me was the fact that he did Mystic River, the Clint Eastwood epic Mystic River, where he loses his daughter to a sort of murder. What a role! My goodness, that another one, cracking. It looks like he was a surfer as well, so massive respect, mate. Because I used to surf, probably not as well as you did, but I used to love it whenever I was out on the old stick. That's a fact. Just trying not to miss out on any of the pictures. So he's pretty beefed up there, isn't he? My God, yeah, that's all good. I was into sport and fitness and stuff as well. So obviously, you look like that if you surf anyway, because it was just all the upper body work that you have to do. And he married one of my most favourite actresses ever, Robin Wright, who's absolutely beautiful. She just is stunning. She's the most, wow, yeah. They were married for years. I mean, you have to remember that in Hollywood, a marriage that lasts a year is like 20 years in normal world, because of all the stresses that they're under with photographers, you know, all these idiots that are paparazzi trying to constantly get pictures to make money out of these people. It must be terrible. I couldn't do it. I must say, the last thing on earth I'd want to be is an actor, to be honest with you. Oh, God, how awful. I mean, I know they get paid very well, but if they're successful, but whoa, no thank you, mate. Not you lose your life, you lose your private life. It's gone, isn't it? Easy Riders, Sean and Chris Penn, so they'll be, and Tom Cruise. So I think he was what was known as part of the Brat Pack. So there were certain people that were part of this kind of cult of actors that were just breaking out. You know, they were new, breaking out. It was brilliant. I loved it. I grew up with it, of course. Although Sean is a little bit older than me, I think. There you go. Elizabeth McGovern, Caddy. She was a pretty lass. Well, she still is probably. Yeah, this book's amazing. You need to get a copy and read about this guy's life. Tim Hutton, another great actor, there with Sean. He's worked with them all. Yeah. And another very interesting thing that Sean Penn did was he did a very interesting documentary about Christopher McCandless, who was a chap who decided his family was too sort of much for him to deal with, and just sort of ran away into the wilds, and unfortunately ended up dying of starvation in a bus that was in Alaska that had been put there for foresters or something like that to shelter in times of hardship. And this lad found it, the bus as it were, and ended up running out of food and dying there. Terrible story. Who wrote that? Oh, my mind. It's ridiculous. I can't remember anything now. I can't remember anything. My brain is... I need another one. Can I have another brain, please? Can I have another brain, Jim? Is that possible, mate, is it? I don't know. If we can get another brain going on. John Krakauer, there it is. John Krakauer wrote the book Into the Wild, a very, very interesting book, another cracking book. And Corrine McCandless, who's the brother of Chris, who died, wrote a response to it called The Wild Truth, which is another very, very interesting read. I highly recommend them both. So, yeah, Chris McCandless. Well, I won't go into it right now because it's quite a personal tale and needs more than just a sort of a brief overview on that one. But I don't know if there are, as I say, there are plenty of photos in this book. And there's Sean Penn on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. I mean, he's slowing down in his production now, I suppose, in the sense that he isn't making as many movies, probably because he doesn't need the money, and probably because he's just, you know, he's very active in all things truth, you know, in all things decent, and whenever I see him being interviewed or there he is with his lovely ex-wife Robin. I think they're still best of friends, but they're not together anymore, unfortunately. He did that film State of Grace, another massively great film with Gary Oldman, wonderful, about a sort of Irish gangsters in New York, you know. Yeah, he's just done so many movies. Jeez, massive actor, brilliant actor as well. You just when you watch him, you just get taken in. You believe, you know, you genuinely do believe what this bloke's up to. That's Jack Nicholson, another wonderful actor, and the great Angelica Houston, who I think Jack was once a part of. You know, she was with him, I think. The Crossing Guard, I think Sean directed that one or produced it or something. Don't quote me on any of these things because half the time I'm just talking a load of old codswallop anyway. So that looks like Sean's son, Jack, is it? Hopper. I don't know much about his... I have read this book many years ago, and I don't remember all of it, to be honest with you. But I can highly recommend it. You know, if it's put it, I'm not being arrogant in any way, but if it's on my oh, that's another brilliant actor, William Hurt. If it's on my shelf, it's a good book. I just don't tolerate rubbish. I use them as firelighting. If I buy a book or I get it out of a charity shop and I think it's rubbish, it ends up on the fire pit. I know that's wrong. I know it shouldn't be, but The Candidate, yeah, nice. Another great movie. I've pretty much seen most of Sean Penn's movies. Not all. I can't boast have said, well, I've seen them all. No way. And they're family Penn, so he's obviously got a son and a daughter that he had with Robin. I think she's awesome. I think she's a brilliant actress. My favourite film that she was in was The Princess Bride, with Carrie Elwes. I think you say his name. That's a brilliant movie too, The Princess Bride. As You Wish. Fantastic. I saw that in Australia when I lived in Australia. So there you go. There's your bits and bobs. I was hoping there'd be a filmography. No, there isn't. But as I say, I'll leave it in the description box below. Yeah, I would agree. Extremely illuminating, often hilarious. Yeah, totally would agree. A brilliant read, this book. A brilliant read. Heartbreaking book. Model of how to write film history. Yeah. Would agree with that. And he's known them all, you know. Jack Nicholson, Dennis Hopper, Woody Allen, Kevin Spacey, Susan Sarandon, another brilliant actress. Tim Robbins, Bono. I always love the joke about Bono. What's the difference between Bono and God? And the answer is God doesn't walk about Dublin pretending he's Bono. Sorry, Bono, but I always like that. It always makes me chuckle, that one. Yeah, Chris Walken, brilliant. Woody Harrelson, Robin Wright, Penn. Oh, yeah. They're all there. Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching. That's Jimmy. He's asleep now, of course. I put everyone to sleep, me. I have a knack of putting people to sleep. It's these videos. Anyway, cheers. If you've got this far, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Very, very much so. All the very best to you. Cheers.